Hey there, my name's Jason Riley. You are listening or watching Two Shot Tuesday, the show where two
Ah,
guys have two shots of alcohol and talk about all kinds of things, except when there's three guys. And that's what today's episode is all about. With me, as always, if you can see him on your screen, to see him is to love him, Barry T. Nixon, and
uh-huh.
the movie guy, who you could not love more. Probably our most in-demand guest that has ever been at Two Shot Studios. Rob, let's start with you. How are you doing today?
Well, I mean, you've just filled my head with things I shouldn't be thinking about, how much I'm loved. I gotta go, guys. No, I feel great. Everything's great. Everything's
Great.
great.
Barry, how are you?
I'm doing great too, Jay. Thanks for asking. We're in the middle of a heat wave at the time of this recording. Heat wave, heat wave. We should be getting to the public pool, but instead we're recording an episode and a very valuable one because Rob, you and I just went and saw The Mandalorian and Grogu, and we're going to break that down and let our audience know if it's worth your movie-going dollar.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen,
100%.
I can't wait to hear about how this movie tracked for you, and I'll tell you my thoughts. I haven't seen it, my thoughts about the franchise as a whole. But first, as always, we have a format on this show. Barry, why don't you kick us off? What are you having to consume tonight while we talk about this?
This is the good stuff, Jay. And I only save it really for once a week when I'm with you. And in this case, our very valued guest, the one and only Rob Peets. So I'm having some Bushmills that's been aged for 12 luxurious, I can't even say it, luxurious
12
years.
days. Oh, okay.
12 years,
okay.
baby. And it's going to you guys.
Nice.
Rob, what have you got over there?
I'm drinking a very special edition of President's Choice sparkling water. It's grape soda flavored water. It's basically like drinking that stuff that you used to get at the donut store fountain, like grape
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
tastes
yeah.
like that, but there's no sugar and it's just water.
That's nice.
It's a fucking miracle, guys.
Yeah. Food science has come a long way. Jay, what have you got?
I have got, I went to my local today, and just like your local, they don't have this available anymore. So I'm getting down to the last few sips of the Jameson Black Barrel, a goodie that not
Yeah.
a lot on offer this spring, apparently.
Mhm.
Gentlemen, to your good health.
Cheers.
Right back at you.
So well aged. I mean, this is well aged, guys.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And it used to
Jeez.
just be called grape drink as well.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, grape drink.
They couldn't even call it any soda or anything because it didn't really fit that, scientific or chemical definition. So they just had
It's
to
not
call it
juice.
grape
It's
drink.
not grape juice. Yeah, it's not orange juice. It's orange drink.
Yeah,
Nice.
orange
Yeah,
drink.
It's like, what do you do with it? You drink it. Okay, well, that's what it is then. It's
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Look, big movie, the very first Star Wars movie to debut in theaters in 7 years, to high
Wow.
anticipation. We'll get into the numbers of it a little bit later on, but let's talk about, I like to hear, is the entire journey, including the build up to see Mandalorian and Grogu. Rob, I made a prediction. I'm not sure if Barry shared it with you. We released it as
You
a
did.
short on what you might say about it. I'm wondering how close I came. You
Well,
reveal
we'll
that
get
in your own
there.
time. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
take us through
we'll
the
get
build
there.
up.
I'm going to let Barry talk about the build up because there was a bit of a kerfuffle getting it together because of weather.
Was there?
So, there was
Yeah.
a weather thing. Yeah.
Okay,
was a
let's
So
hear
I'll
it.
let you take us to the theater and then we'll
Yeah.
get in the theater.
But okay, it was a small kerfuffle. It was raining. It was pissing rain. It was like
lot.
Yeah.
end of the world. It was like Noah's Ark should be built while
Yeah.
the rain was coming down. If you were doing it then, you're already too late. You're dead. However, I called an Uber, and so I picked Rob up on the way. So not too bad. We got in the Uber. It's gridlock. It is gridlock. Every street you look down, it's bumper to bumper. Now, at the time of this recording, the World Cup is not on. So why is it so busy? We don't know. Just because it was raining, I guess.
The rain.
We eventually get to the theater. We're a little sweaty. We're a little angry. We're coming up against it. We're missing the commercials, Jay, and nobody likes to miss the commercials at the movies. Thankfully, we got there in time. We got our corn, found our seats, our same seats we always have, and we didn't miss a single one of those depressing Save the Children cancer commercials.
Yeah,
They
we
seem to
got 'em
love
all.
to play at
We
the
got all
beginning
6 of
each
them. Yep.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
boy.
depressing.
So that's the build-up, and then it
What about-
started. Rob,
what
what
about
was your first
previews?
impression?
I want to hear
Yeah.
previews. Was there a Masters of the Universe preview before this movie?
There was, wasn't there?
No, but there was an Odyssey in full screen IMAX.
Right, that's what it
preview.
was. Yeah.
That's what it was. And yeah, sadly, Masters of the Universe was notably missing, but I am very excited about that. Well, that's for another show, though.
Yeah, of course. All right, so this was in IMAX. That's
In
All right.
3D, we're wearing glasses again, Jay.
First time wearing glasses in quite a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't
What
remember
was
the last time we did.
what was this like? Take us through, Rob. That we've now begun.
It was passable. As far as 3D stuff is concerned. Actually, my glasses, I just wear like a sort of like HD vision, sort of like glasses that just make my vision pop a bit. My sight's pretty good when it comes to movies, so nearsightedness or whatever. But I still wear them because it just makes everything a little more crisp. But when I put the 3D glasses on, they kind of were slipping halfway down my glasses. So I asked Barry, and I knew it was a bit of a like, I don't want to do this to him, but maybe we could swap and I'll see if yours fit on my glasses better. Because they fit fine normally, but with my glasses, it became more of a thing. And he was like,
Mhm.
well, sure. And I tried them, and sure enough, those were fine.
Really?
So
There you
3D
go.
was fine.
Barry to the
the other
rescue
ones just
again, if I
slipped.
could just
Yeah,
say.
very
That's
odd.
nice.
Like
Yeah.
a Saint Bernard bringing you some rum when you're trapped
Neil
in a
Citron. Yeah.
yes.
100%. 100%.
All right, so
Thank
we
you,
get
Jay.
through
That's nice.
we get through the debacle of the glasses. Now we've got a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Does it start with that? Can you tell us that?
No, it doesn't have that. It basically just kind of has a blurb about where the Mandalorian's at. Just very quick, sort of based on the shows that have happened already. So it kind of explains where they're at and how they're currently out there doing bounties basically for the rebellion or for the leftover sort of like, I don't know what they're trying to create. I don't know what it's called. I forget.
The
Whatever
The
Alliance?
new
is
alliance.
the
kinda
new
thing.
alliance, yeah.
The New Republic, maybe.
The New Republic, yeah. Maybe.
That's it. Okay.
So he's sort of running bounties for Sigourney Weaver's character, who is sort of in charge of that, I guess, in charge of doling out this stuff. And she's an X-wing pilot and probably a commander of some kind.
Mm.
So that's kind of where the movie starts. And I will say that now based on your prediction, I think you were saying that I think Rob's going to think that this is kind of a equivalent to watching a few episodes of the show.
Like a good episode, but not the best episode.
Not
It's
the
kind of
best,
my
yeah.
thinking. It would be like you've seen
You
better
were-
episodes.
You were right on, and it's literally like watching
night, everyone.
maybe 3. Yeah, have a good one. It's like watching 3 back-to-back episodes, maybe 4, if maybe one was longer than the other, that type of thing.
Yeah.
The first episode is literally the first act. You can tell where the episode would have ended. They go on the bounty, they do the bounty's done, that's the end of the episode. That's about 45
They hug
minutes.
it out. They
Right?
jump
They
up
hug
and
it out.
down.
Everyone's happy,
Barry's getting
But
up,
then-
ready to leave. Well, see you
ready to
later.
leave.
But not yet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that went. I guess we shouldn't get too deep into spoiler territory in case
Yeah.
I don't know how popular this movie is, to be honest. I don't think it's doing super well. So
Worst
I think it
opening.
made
was-
like 90 million like opening
Yeah.
weekend.
yeah, this
Worst
is an
And it
opening
had a
of-
lower budget. This is the lowest budgeted Star Wars big screen epic ever.
and worst
So
I agree.
opening.
Are
maybe
we-
it will make money.
What was that? We're
I said
going to
worst,
get into the
worst
numbers.
opening, but it might make
Yeah, worst
numbers.
opening.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it had
So-
the lowest budget.
So yeah, I think there's just not a lot of I think there's not a lot of excitement because of how Star Wars has gone recently, and then really you're
Mhm.
giving us Mandalorian that we've been watching on Disney Plus for not for free, but kind of like for watching for free.
Yeah.
Now we're paying. Okay, so yes, it does have a really great, spectacular sort of like action sequences. Maybe more, I would say, probably 25 to 30% more visual effects and stuff that make it look more like a movie. But nothing I don't think they could have really done. Maybe a couple of set pieces they couldn't have done in the TV show. But for the most part, they probably could have pulled some of it off. If you see in the commercials, there's those AT-AT, the walkers, and stuff that they kind of go up against. They probably wouldn't have done that in the series. They might have used smaller versions of that stuff in the series. But so I don't know. That's about it. Barry, what did you think about the first sort of like bit of the movie?
Yeah, and I mean, I was in, like right away. I thought the story started pretty well. Like it did, it didn't drag. As we got a little deeper in, though, I did find that there were a couple of sequences that maybe could have been shorter. I did like the fact that we got to meet Jabba the Hutt's son. I didn't know he had a son, and he's also a son who's jacked. He's the only member of the Hutt who actually has a gym membership, and now he's like a gladiator on a foreign planet. And so that's how he's making his living. So that's kind of cool. And he, of course, eventually, well, right away when we meet him, he's very clear about saying, I'm not like my dad. And so there's a kind of a long him trying to plead his case that, hey, my dad was a gangster. My dad was ruthless. That's not me, even though I just killed a guy 5 minutes ago in the gladiatorial arena. Doesn't matter. It was still cool to see. And he looks just like Jabba. Basically, it's like an in shape Jabba, right? His face, Rob, I don't know whether you noticed that, but the face
Yeah,
is
he had the same
identical to
nose
Jabba.
and yeah.
Same
100%.
eyes,
Yeah.
same, yeah, exactly. Same, like, even mouth movements.
So it's all in the arms and the shoulders.
In
Is
the
that where
chest.
muscles
And the
are?
chest.
Yeah.
Chest,
The
What about
chest.
tail.
picture?
And he does
Picture?
he
Not so
Yeah,
much.
well,
Not
he
so much
skips
in the
he was
leg day.
tail.
beefy.
skips
He was
leg day?
beefy. Like he was thicker, and you know what I mean. Like he was beefy all around.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
jump
he
in
He
the
was
trunk.
like a long like a long thick roly poly guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
but he could move quick, which was, I
Yeah.
mean, that's not a characteristic you often associate with the Hutts. But we learned more about them, which was kind of cool. And I don't know whether we visited their homeworld. I asked Rob about this afterwards, whether that was the homeworld. We don't really know. It was a world where they happened to be living. A few
Yeah, I
of
don't think
them,
it was their
anyway.
home world.
So,
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
made their
It
home
was
on that world. So you're
Yes,
not
they
sure if
have-
the
they have
homeworld.
taken
Yeah.
basically taken over that world. Yeah.
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 His in the comics, his sister is quite a major bounty hunter, I believe. Or not a bounty hunter, sorry, like she's a major mob boss. I'm not sure if she was ever
Really?
referenced. Yeah.
You're talking about Jabba's sister?
Yeah. Was there ever a sister
Yeah. So I think
referenced?
these are his brother and sister, correct?
well, there's
Or
the twins. I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
how they tie to him, but Rata is, he was the main Hutt, and he's
the
Jabba's son. Yeah.
Okay.
Which, again, I don't think anyone knew that he even had a son. I don't know.
No,
That was-
we did. It's part of it's part of the Clone Wars
Okay.
stuff. He was in the Clone Wars as a baby, like so it would have been 25 years ago, I guess, somewhere around there. He was a baby, and he was helped by the rebel. The rebels helped him because he was kind of outcast as a baby, and he was a bit precocious as a baby and stuff. But he's grown up, obviously, just doing his own thing and finding his
he's a
own way. And
gladiator.
this is how he's found his own way. He's actually played by Jeremy Allen White, who's from that show, The Bear.
Hmm.
So he was voiced by a decently well liked actor, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he was good.
just
He was
really
he was good.
quickly, just on the subject of voicing, kind of a cool thing. Martin Scorsese voices a character in this film.
A pretty
Interesting.
minor intro character that happens near
Yeah.
the beginning, but
Yeah.
he's sort of an
Why?
informant type character.
I wonder.
I guess
don't
he's a
know,
fan
but
of Star Wars.
he was easily, I would say, top 3 voices in the entire movie. Like he was
Really?
very good. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
surprisingly good. He was
Mhm.
engaging. No,
Yeah,
not
he
many other
was.
people in this movie were super engaging. I would say Jeremy Allen White's Road to the Hut was a bit engaging. He was an interesting character, but they obviously, this is where the movie starts to fall apart a bit, I think, is that these characters are all interesting to some degree. They have places where they could be interesting, but there's not enough of them. And I think Road of the Fut could
Yeah.
have, he could have actually been part of the group for longer. I think he was kind of in and out of the movie. And I think that's kind of, I mean, I guess it's difficult to have a giant Hut traveling around with you everywhere you go.
Well, that's the
but
thing. You remember that one scene? Again, these are minor spoilers, but there was a scene where, like, Rata even said he couldn't even reach the controls inside the
Yeah.
ship. He's too big for the cockpit, so he's
He's
not
giant,
really
yeah.
anything but ballast. He would
Yeah,
just
yeah,
be
yeah.
slowing them down. So I kind of see why they wouldn't incorporate
it's
him
just too bad because
too much.
he was an interesting character. And
He was,
and
yeah.
I wish there was more of him, you know what I mean? Because it was he was there, but he's a very sympathetic character as well. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Before we move on, another thing that we want more of is a shot, because there are 2
Yeah.
shots in every show, and
Absolutely.
we're about 3/4 of
Good
the way
call, Jay.
through. So, Barry, same thing for you?
Same thing, brother. Some 12 years, courtesy of our good friends at Bushmills.
Rob? Same thing. Same Z's over here.
All right, here's to you guys.
Cheers.
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 All right. So, was there anything genuinely surprising about this movie that would have made it stood out and said, this is why they made it a movie and not simply an extension of a season?
Not in my opinion.
No, Barry? How
Yeah,
about you?
because I didn't know anything about Jabba having a son. I guess that was the only surprise for me, and the fact that we got to learn a little bit more about the Hutts as kind of a species.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the only thing for me anyway. But like Rob said, he already kind of knew about that from watching the Clone Wars series. So yeah, I don't know. It didn't really, and we talked about this on the walk home. There wasn't too much in the way of furtherance of the overall story. Like, it's not like Grogu got any closer to finding his relatives or whatever.
Not that
I think he's
not that
trying to get
even
home
trying.
eventually,
Right.
right?
I
But
don't
I
know
think that's
about
part
that.
of the story, right? He's supposed to be
I don't think so.
kind of getting
no,
home.
no, I don't think so. I think the Grogu story. I'm going to get into this a bit because this
Yeah,
is where I
please.
have the most problems with this movie. I told Barry on the way over that I really hope, and I won't say it right away. I'll hold it for now, but I do hope they do one thing, and I think if they do that, this could be an interesting thing, because otherwise it might be kind of boring. I think that we've learned through watching this series that Grogu, the character, Baby Yoda, the character, has kind of accepted the fact and willingly decided that he wants to be with Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, that he
Yeah.
is like a father figure to him, and that he has been in his care for so long, and that they are in simpatico with each other to some degree. There's something there. There's a bond
Yeah,
there. And
for sure.
Grogu has left the Jedi training with Luke to continue to just be with Mando, and that's kind of touching. So what I think
That's true.
there's a moment here in this movie where, and I won't get into the spoilers and depth of all this, but there is a moment where Din Djarin needs some help, and Baby Yoda / Grogu is there and does his best to help. And that is a fun little sequence. I do think that's around the time where Barry might have started to get a bit bored, because it was kind of the same
There's a
stuff
bored
over and over
moment.
again.
Hmm.
Now, but there's a reason for that, and I think they could have
Yeah.
done this in a much better way. So he helps Mando kind of recover, and it has some interesting moments in it, a little bit of furtherance of character with Grogu, and I won't say what, but there's a few things that happen in that where you go, okay, he's learning, he is taking responsibility and doing things. The one thing that they didn't do, and I think they should have done, is have him finally call Din Djarin or Mando father or family or something in English. He should have said, because part of that character's story is that he was part of the Order 66, where the Jedi Temple was wiped out and all the Jedis were wiped out. He was equivalent of a 5-year-old at that time. He was 25 or something in our years. He's 50 now, so he's twice that. He's about 10 years old now. He's been with Din Djarin for about 5 years. He's accepted the fact that he wants to be a Mandalorian, like his quote unquote, kind of like his father, right? And that's who he's kind of following along. He's got Mandalorian armor. So it would have been nice for that. I think that would have been a nice way to give emotional impact to those characters finally having a moment together. Instead, they had Din Djarin say the old help the young, and then the young help the old. That was the line that came out of that. It should have been Grogu saying like family in his voice for the first time ever. And maybe that's all he ever says. It doesn't matter. Maybe they could have expanded on it, but just put that out there. And I'm telling you, I would have wept like a small newborn baby child. So I just think that's such an opportunity missed.
Let's do that.
And it just ends up being no emotional impact to the entire story,
Yeah. All right. Well, Barry, what do you, so while we were on you, Rob, what's your star rating on this one?
This is a mildly above average type film. I would give it a 3 out of 5. I would say it's
3 out of 5.
okay. It's okay. It's not bad. It's a fun watch.
Yeah.
With kids, it's just a fun action movie, but there's no depth. So if you want depth, you're not going to get it. You might get a tiny little, just a nugget of depth,
Well, we're going to go as deep as one of Barry's squats as you give us your star rating, Barry, and your final thoughts on Mandalorian Grogu.
Yeah, I completely agree with Rob. I think we're in sync on this one. I would say it's not bad. I enjoyed what I saw. I thought the 3D was pretty cool. It looked great. For me, it could have been perhaps 15 minutes shorter. It was a little bit of meandering, at least that's my view. But overall, yeah, it's like 3 or so episodes of the show kind of put together. And yeah, I was along for the ride. There was one sequence that I really did enjoy, which is where the Mandalorian has to do battle with this like dragon snake, is what they called it, which is kind of like
it's
the
in the
most
commercials.
obvious thing they could call it. This white snake that looks like a dragon, but they call it anyway, it doesn't matter. That was a really cool sequence. That whole battle was pretty awesome. So there
were some great set pieces for sure. There was some good fights. That's the thing, is Mando is the cowboy with no name kind of character. He doesn't have emotion. He wears a helmet. There's nothing that you can't see anything. That's why you need Grogu to be the emotion, right? And that's where they completely failed. Otherwise, it was a fun action movie. So
okay. Got it. My last question for you before we wrap up, Rob, do you think there's going to be another season or another movie, or do you think there's something definitive about the ending on this thing?
There's nothing definitive about it.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's hard to know what they're going to do, because if this continues down the sort of kind of low, I don't know, mediocre sort of path that it's on, as far as audiences want to be, like taken away by Star Wars. They don't want to just be, that was fun. They want to have a moment where they're transported to a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Disney has been doing that since they started, really, with a couple of minor exceptions, and with early seasons of Mandalorian.
Great. All right. Well, perfect. Rob, thank you once again for being here and really breaking down the only thing you need to know about the Mandalorian and Grogu. You've heard it here today. Barry, as always, thank you. Did you give the star rating? I don't think you gave it a star rating.
Oh yeah, 3 out of 5. I agree.
3 out of
with
5.
Rob.
Okay, great.
He's right.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then now
it's
that we've
worth a
got
watch.
that,
It's not great.
checked off all the boxes. Thank you, dear audience, for tuning in. Please join us again next week. We look forward to seeing you on another exciting episode of Two Shot Tuesday and Grogu.
Thank you for listening to Two Shot Tuesday. The show is produced by Barry and I and edited by me. If you have yet to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, please take a second to do so now. It helps us grow, and it helps new audiences to find the show. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Two Shot Tuesday, and on Twitter at Two Shot Tuesday Podcast. Stop by, give us a follow, leave us a comment, and share your favorite episodes. If you have a question you'd like featured on the show, you can send us a text at 647-486-4848. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.